attacks. What do you do to play around that as melee? Not deal damage? Cool.
It just feels really rough. I mean, look, there are options, but like realistically, in Gauntlet, like you're just dead. It's why I prefer like the Hunter fight personally. I think or Al Hasmin. I think you just feel like there's a. It's the arena that proves difficult. Sure, he does a lot of damage, but at least it feels like you can play around him. Like Baron, it's just like, oh, okay, I guess I stood still for point 0.5 seconds too long. I guess I'm just dead. Like that just feels bad, at least to me. Yeah.
I don't know why Rise was watching a stream of someone building a dam in a little river, but I'm gonna see if somebody else is online in that corner. We do have some more clips to watch though, but I just want to make sure our backing content
Perfect.
is nothing that'll get us DMCA struck or something. I don't know. just to play it safe, we'll make sure it's Path of Exile. But I'm gonna pull up a clip from Zinnior next.
Rise
or Zilnor.
living that beaver cosplay lifestyle. You know what I mean? Oh.
About half health by the time the blender is finished with him, and then I think that's Riker, who's the other intervention member. Though it's hard to tell behind the gray fog.
I'm curious about one thing in particular, though. If he did, my chat might be able to enlighten us. But is he? I know I'm sure he's Gladiator, Salam. But what is his second ascendancy? If it's not Witch, I'm a little upset. I mean, mind you, Raider is super powerful, but I would have liked to see the Witch. Oh, he's Jug second.
Jug. Okay, then yeah, that means that his block isn't as good as I would have expected because he hasn't gone for Necro.
It's Jug until
Jug is still fairly tanky in its own right with the auto endurance charge gen.
Yeah.
So I imagine those are up, but yeah, he's not going to have quite as good a time blocking all this spam.
Yeah, I mean that's about that block, but Jug, Raider, even Pathfinder, I think is what I ended up in the late game with. Is just there's a lot of strong options on Ascendant these days, specifically for this build too. So, look, we could say all day that Necromancer would have saved him and stuff. Who knows, right? Maybe he wouldn't have had his offering up. Maybe it's too many sockets for his gear. Just unfortunate. I think he is re-rolling, by the way, and I saw a Herald of Agony.
Yes, it was a Herald of Agony Marauder that he was re-rolling as, and I believe the character was called Agony Marauder or Pain Champ or something like that. He didn't seem extremely excited about the build, but he was re-rolling it.
I do feel bad for Rise in this case, because I mean, like, the reality is, like, he's throwing himself a hard content there, but because it's
Hydra fires from off screen. Very unlucky with these twinnings, over and over targeting the most dangerous enemies, but I think he's got it in the bag at this point.
I think it's just Hydra left, so I actually did an amazing fight, guys. Exactly what Mitchington said. Like, in hindsight, he was looking for a safe log. He didn't want to get stuck in the fight and just die immediately. Makes a lot of sense.
That's a third of a Maven fight secured there as he got 3 Crescent Splinters. Very happy.
Yeah, he's popping off, and deservedly so. Easy clap and check, guys. Woo! Very impressive. And it turns out prepping for your fights, well worth it. Well worth it. Yeah, he's actually, like, he's losing his mind in the top right. I love it. Very, very, very cool. He's feeling himself, and you know what? His damage looked really good. Like, I don't think the hidden's going to be a problem for him. I don't think any of those fights. I'm really surprised how high his damage was, considering he lost the 20% more from his ascendancy, but didn't.
Linked with that or something like that. Go in and try and get a cheeky hit off to call him down.
There is
it's just gonna DPS him straight to 0.
Yeah, I do like having a Culling Strike option. I mean, look, a lot of players say, oh, well, like, look, if you have to swap, gem swap, you're gonna be like more susceptible to damage, etc., etc. And that is true, but especially against something like Cyrus or Maven, where the last phase is so much scarier than the rest of the fight, being able to just, snap your fingers and the boss is gone at a certain threshold is just a really nice, actually, defensive layer. Forget about the damage you can do. It just feels really, really good. And sure, Shaper isn't that scary, and he will have to fight Shaper multiple times to get all the fragments for Uberelder.
What about advertisements with Zizaran in it? Nope. Guess I'll leave then. But not before telling you to go to shop.zizaran.com and buy a Gauntlet t-shirt to support everything we do with events.
Don't worry, we are back, guys. Don't worry. I realized that Ventrua is doing the Twisted fight, so we're going to get that full screen. And we were able to get at least the first of 2 ads out. Whew, the timing on that. Zooming in on the bosses. Really wants to check out what weapons they have, I guess.
That's Eradicator in the bottom left, I'm pretty sure. I'm actually not sure who that is in the top right, but I think it's Purifier to the left of them.
I should have rerolled just for different mods, but look, the fact that he's getting it down, like obviously he understands the build, he knows his thresholds, and maybe knows the fight a lot better. Maybe realize, hey, I only need to get these bosses down a little bit more for those minion phases.
He may need to take this last portal though, because he's completely out of mana flasks.
Yeah.
He's banking maybe on a minion phase soon from Eradicator to refill those.
Mm-hmm.
He just used his last mana flask charge. He is entirely out.
Yeah. It's going to come down to the wire.
He like the Constrictor clones are going to chase him around the arena. They're relentless, and he doesn't have any damage to kill them because of the lack of mana flasks. But Eradicator did just go into a minion phase. Mm-hmm. Once those actually spawn and finish their animation, he can hopefully get a couple charges back off of this.
Gets at least one, maybe might get a second.
But this might become a war of attrition between Maven's heals and Venturo's mana flask recovery. He got another charge back there passively, and this minion phase is a godsend.
But I mean, it's close though now. Like he does have his Val Grace up, so maybe like that can buy him some extra time. Like he should be nearly capped anyway, but able to get down. Awesome.
Huge props. That looked completely like just not even doable at the start of the fight.
He is. By the way, he is not happy with how that fight went. I can tell you that right now. I'm gonna pop us back on, so don't worry about player 4. But yeah, very amazing showing by Ventura. But I think has to work out how he's gonna solve those problems. You can't be doing that in like some other fights, right? I mean, granted, Twisted is one of these like very tough fights in Gauntlet, but I think in the Formed, like you just that just fight becomes undoable in those circumstances.
Formed does have a lot better flask sustain because more of the enemies in there will summon minions more often.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's also a more difficult fight in that there's a lot more arena coverage and spam from the enemies too.
Mm-hmm. Let's see if we can grab Lily on player 4 here. Player 3, sorry. There we go. Enjoy the show.
Salutations, Exile. Today we dive back into the Iolite Gauntlet, Path of Exile's bloodiest event. Brought to you by Zizaran and Shopify, the Gauntlet is the place for exiles to test their skills, garner points, and leave their mark on the game's competitive history. As a reminder, this event runs on hardcore solo self-found rules and includes modifiers to monsters and players on every zone to make it more difficult. This edition of the Gauntlet is the most difficult one ever, with the most varied meta. In previous installments of the event, we would have had a winner by now, but the unsolved nature of the game, coupled with the jump in difficulty, leaves the results still up in the air 5 days later. Lighty brings the Formed to their demise, leading the pack in endgame kill objectives.
That's why I wanted AK Life.
The good times to show. I'm on my way, yes, I'm on my way.
Hi there! I'm an advertisement. Nobody likes advertisements. What about advertisements with Zizaran in it? Nope. Guess I'll leave then. But not before telling you to go to shop.zizaran.com and buy a Gauntlet t-shirt to support everything we do with events. Thank you for the support, and I hope you're enjoying watching the Gauntlet.
Comes out in a few weeks, and we didn't want to interfere with that. We wanted people to be able to focus on this as well. So just keep your schedule checked. Usually about halfway though, and that's a pretty okay shield, actually.
Yeah, a decent enough starting point. This is the Cold Dot that Garoth has been playing, Cold Dot Occultist, so I think it's the only Occultist we've seen on the stream. The other witches have all been either Dr. Dexter's Elementalist for the rush to Atziri, or Necromancers. This is the only Occultist I can recall seeing on stream.
Correct.
There might be some on the ladder a little lower down, or just not streaming in general, but...
It's the only one we've seen, yeah.
Yeah, certainly a very spicy choice, and crafting to try and get some gear to potentially swap to ES.
That's actually really nice. That's
more information spewed at their face. unless they hit the Alt key, which is a conscious decision on the part of the player to begin with.
They
So I don't know why it
want to
is-
see more. Exactly. I totally agree. Like they're opting in when they click Alt to see more information. So why limit that or make that an option to see the information that you really do need?
Yeah.
Right? And
There's a lot of little things like that that just bother me.
yeah.
And
And it seems like yeah. No, I agree with you, right? And it seems I understand where GGG is coming from. Oh, we don't want to overwhelm players, but the thing is, the game is so overwhelming in every other way. Like to me, that's actually helping the player understand. It's not overwhelming them. It's actually telling them for once in Path of Exile, this is how something works, right? I mean, the word nearby is different for every single iteration in the game. It feels like, right? Which is fine. I mean, I don't like that, but it's fine, right? But then the second you're opting into seeing more information, just make that the default behavior.
Oh, it's a shame about that 28 life roll in the amulet. Garatha is throwing everything he's got at this thing. Is he just chaos spamming at this point? It seems.
We're gonna drag
Gotta
Steel
keep
Mage
the
over.
mental game sharp.
Yeah.
Hone your mental acuity.
As much as a chess fan as I am, not the content we want to show you guys today, so we're going to pop Steel over. Who is actually, I think, I must be rank 3 right now, I would imagine, overall. Actually, why don't we pop the ladder? I'll do a little bit of a ladder check
We
overall.
want to do any chess commentary? We can talk about the Sicilian.
I am no
That
Magnus
is one
Carlsen, my
chess
friend.
word that I know.
Someone watched the Queen's Gambit, which is a great show, by the way. So we are just going to check out the ladder. YH is rank 1, actually, in which just beating Lily. For those that don't know, even though they are the same points, it's whoever reaches that threshold first is placed above. But Lily is probably prepping for some bosses, so we'll wait and see how